acquaintance be forgotten the days of old lang syne. Don't forget the ones you love and let's have a good time. Don't forget the ones you love and days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, for old lang syne. We'll take a couple of times, shake for the days of old lang syne.
Hello everyone and welcome back to GAMFT. Let me be the last one to wish you a very happy new year for 2019. We have been away for quite a while. Today we will present a smorgasbord of just shit, really. We don't have an episode, so this is just going to be a random collection of things. One of the reasons we were away was that Jared was back over Christmas visiting.
The time is 4:46 a.m. and I'm at Paddington Station, about to embark upon an epic journey back to Utah. Got to see MCA last night, that was nice. Yeah, it's cold, but I'm not as tired as I thought I'd be. Paddington's quite pretty out this early in the morning, actually. It's the lights at the other end of the station are nice. The gates aren't open for the Heathrow Express yet. People are waiting down there. But I'm going to stay up here for a bit. But yeah, I'll check in at Heathrow.
And so we got to hang out more, which means we had to do this less. Although we did record the first, hopefully annual GAMFT Christmas board game podcast, or the first annual GAMFT Cluedo game, whichever it ends up being. So now live from Be The Change in Worcester, which is a restaurant. If you're around there, go check them out. The best cookies, the best shakes. We present me and Jared playing a game.
Every person in this room has the perfect motive.
Stand back!
For murder.
What do you mean? This is getting quite serious.
And madness. In the movie that makes a scene of the crime. Clue. It's not just a game anymore.
Secretly look at your cards because they're in your hand. Wait.
Oh, we need
Shuffle
to
together the remaining cards and then deal them face down, clockwise around the table. It doesn't matter if some players receive more cards than others. Secretly look at your cards because they're in your hand. They can't be in the case file envelope, and they were not involved in the crime.
Crime?
Crime.
I think I just gave you two, so I'm going to give myself two.
Okay. Pretty good.
How is it in terms of Christmassy
Very Christmassy.
pieness?
It's got the spicy, sweet deliciousness of a mince pie in the form of a milkshake.
Okay. This is
And then raisins, which I like raisins.
I like raisins. Okay,
Take the detective's notebook sheet.
we've already done that.
Make
and
sure.
a tiny pencil.
Yes, make sure no one can see the notes you make, and mark off suspects, weapons, and rooms that you have in your hand.
Yes, smart. And then you can discard these cards, I suppose.
Discard.
You can totally play this with two people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I totally just put my thing just completely flat so you can see all. Almost just said the name of this one. The splounge.
Professor Mayonnaise.
The veganese in here.
Sorry, yes. Veganese.
Is that how you say it? I call it veganese.
I think it is. I think it is veganese, but I prefer veganese is fine.
There's no A in it, is there? So.
No.
Candlestick. Oh, actually did it.
That's fine.
That's all right. You mark off candlestick as well.
All right, thanks.
That's your freebie.
That's my freebie. Okay. Revolver.
Hang on a minute. I didn't have that. Does it? Do I get that as a freebie?
Yeah, that's your freebie.
Hey, freebie.
One freebie each.
That should speed this up.
Yep.
I think you ended up having more cards than me anyway. That's fine.
I think you're right.
Okay.
All right, what do we do next?
Roll a dice. No?
maybe. Gameplay. Miss Scarlet always goes first. Then continues to the left.
Hey, that's me.
That's you. Okay, on your turn, move your character by either rolling the die or by using a secret passage.
Oh.
If you are in a corner room, try to reach a different room of the house on every turn to make your inquiries. Rolling.
rolling.
Roll the die. Move your character the number of squares you rolled. You may move horizontally, vertically, forwards, back, but not diagonally.
Okay.
You may change directions as many times as you like, but you may not enter the same square twice on the same turn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ooh, fancy. You may not land on or move through a square that's already occupied by another player.
Okay.
Alright.
Makes a degree of sense. You roll a 1?
I rolled a 1.
It's amazing. Okay, me again.
Okay. So, if given that you're by a room now, read the entering and leaving a room, you may enter or leave a room either by rolling the die and using the doorway or by moving through a secret passage. It doesn't matter if you roll a number that's higher, then you need to enter. Stop moving once you're inside.
Right, which I've done. So I'm in the study.
Okay. What advantage does that give you? I guess you can use a secret passage.
I can use the secret passage, and then I think you can make guesses when you're in the rooms.
Making a guess. As soon as you enter a room, make a suggestion. By making suggestions throughout the game, you try to work out, by process of elimination, which 3 cards in the envelope.
Surely, accusation.
Yes.
Not suggestion.
Not suggestion, no.
Right, I'm going to make an accusation. And I think is it that you get to tell me one of those things? Like, if you have such a thing, you can say, like, it wasn't the revolver.
Yeah, to make a suggestion, move the suspect and a weapon into the room that you just entered, then suggest the crime that was committed in that room by that suspect with that weapon.
Oh, shit, so you have to put in a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Do I have to use the one that's in the room?
I don't know, it didn't say. Example, let's say you're Miss Scarlet and you enter the lounge. First, move another suspect, Reverend Green. What did you say?
Splounge.
Into the First, say you're Miss Scarlet and enter the splounge. First, move another suspect, Reverend Greenpoop, for instance. Reverend Run into the splounge. Next, move a weapon, the panna, perhaps, into the splounge. Then say, I suggest the crime is committed by Reverend Run in the splounge with the panna. J'accuse. When making a suggestion, you must be in the room that you mention in your suggestion. Okay, so you couldn't, like, you're in a study, you couldn't say in the hall.
Right, so I can, it has to be the room, but it doesn't have to be the weapon. So why do we have to place the weapons in the room?
I don't know.
Just because?
Just because it's a place to put my
So
guess.
I'm going to say Reverend Run.
Reverend Run.
In the stoudoir with le pip.
Okay. Proving a suggestion true or false. As soon as you make a suggestion, the other players in turn try to prove it false. The first to try the player to your left. That's me. Oh, wow. This player looks at their cards to see if one of the 3 cards you just noticed there, but you don't need to do that because you got
your piece of sheet.
The piece of sheet. If the other player has one of the cards, I guess this is to protect you from, like, giving it away to everyone, but it's given that we're everyone, we can just say it aloud. You show the card.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
so the cards do have a purpose.
Yeah. If the other... you're right. If the other player has more than one of the cards, they select
say
one, yeah. If they have none, your chance to prove suggestion false passes to the next player on the left. Okay, alright. As soon as the player shows you one of the cards named, it's proof this card cannot be in the case file envelope, and your suggestion was wrong. End your turn by marking off this card on your notebook sheet. Piece of sheet. So, how are we going to do this? A Reverend Green.
Where?
Reverend Run.
It wasn't Reverend Run?
Yeah, it wasn't Reverend Run.
It wasn't Reverend Run. Where is he? There he is.
You said lead pipe in the study, right?
Stoudoir.
Stoudoir.
Okay. Do I put him back, or does he stay there?
Yeah, you put him back.
Okay,
I think.
put him back.
Fairly certain.
There is very little point having the other player.
Yeah.
And we don't know about lead peep, so I will leave that there.
Correct.
Cool. Over to you, sir.
You go.
This is going to be a long game.
There we go.
How much money we put on the car?
Oh yeah, 2 hours.
6!
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to use 1 just to go to the kitchen.
All right, fair enough.
So, where we'll make another accusation
All right,
or suggestion, as the case may be. I'm going to go Colonel Bastard,
Colonel Bastard.
which is you. I guess that.
Yeah.
You can
No.
go that way if you want, or you can stay in the kitchen. It's up to you.
Alright.
With le rop.
Don Lucky Chan.
Dans le...
Colonel Bastard.
It was not Colonel
It
Bastard?
is not Colonel Bastard.
Okie doke. Okie doke. Okie dokie. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to La Studois.
Okay. I suppose you don't have to roll if you just get...
No.
You just go back and forth.
I would have just rolled a fucking 1 anyway. Let's. So j'accuse.
J'accuse. You gotta pull them in.
Oh, you're right. Madame Yorin
Madame, you're...
elle bénisse dans la Studois mit ein
Pan-European Cluedo, people.
mit ein lead pipe.
It wasn't pickle.
Okay.
And she goes, but where did she start from?
Definitely. Yes.
Okay.
Right. 2's turn.
That's me. 6!
This room angled funny or something?
I love it. You rolled like a 2 and a 1 and
A 1 and a 3.
and I've had multiple 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So close.
Oh, so close.
So close.
Very sweet, but delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, sugar go-go, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder how many mince pies came in yours.
I don't know, yeah. I think probably 2 is my guess.
The whole one on the top?
Like 1 on the top, which was also like cut up, or maybe 2, maybe 1, yeah, maybe 2, because there were bits of it around the edge as well.
But it was a whole one on the top, wasn't it? Like my brownie.
It was a whole one on the top, yeah. Okay, j'accuse. Mademoiselle Rouge
Mademoiselle Rouge.
avec. No, that's weird.
No, that's true. You could go with the...
Oh yeah, avec la. Les pipes. Dans la kitchen. I can't remember what kitchen in French is.
Just say it in French. Just say it.
Oh, kitchen.
Kitchen.
Kitchen. Oh yeah.
It was not
Yeah.
in the kitchen.
Ah, non, dans la.
No, I don't know.
Dans la.
It's really not.
Canal.
Canal.
Okay.
Right, yeah. Okay. Come on, 1. 6. Just like, it's like literally, is this me? 1. That's what I wanted.
You can, if you got 6, you can go into the ballroom anyway.
I know, I
Doesn't
could. But
matter
I just
how many.
wondered if I could roll anything. But
Anything but a 6? Okay, yeah. There's some kind of magical energy.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this properly.
Alright, ballroom.
Ballroom. I'm going to say Miss Madame Rouge
Madame Rouge,
dans la ballroom
dans la room de Beth.
with mit le spanner. Oh, we
Mit
don't have
ein
a spanner.
Spanner. Okay.
Oh no, is that the spanner?
That's the
is it?
spanner.
Sorry. Mit le pipe wedge.
Mit le orange de pipe.
Beep. Hang on a minute. Where's the lead peep?
Lead pipe is there.
You can straighten this out.
Oh, there we go. Was not le Spanel. L'orange de pipe. Ce n'est de l'orange de pipe.
Orange. Beep. Okay. Beep. And put the Madame Rouge back. 3. You just go back and forth.
Okay, j'accuse.
Wait, hang on a minute.
What?
Oh,
Shit, I think I messed up. I think I was supposed to go to the study last time.
whatever.
Oh, well.
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, j'accuse Madame Blanc. Avec la robe dans la ballroom. Ah, merde.
Do you already know this?
Yeah, I didn't answer it wrong.
Wasn't the rope.
Oh, n'est pas de robe.
N'est pas de rope.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Come on, give me a 6. Baby needs a new pair of shoes. 4. Wait, who am I? I'm Bum. So why's Mustard here? That's you.
That was, I just moved
of course.
the kitchen.
I got
But I shouldn't have, because that's where the kitchen door is. Whoops.
That's what I wondered when I said it. But I got 4, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, le conservatoire.
Le Conservatoire. J'accuse! I like this. This is like speed Cluedo. We're doing alright.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Don't need all those other people.
Nah.
Cool. So I reckons it was.
Nosy person.
Professor, we've already eliminated Reverend Run. Nope. Me? I reckon. I wonder if it was me.
All right.
In some sort of blind fit of rage.
Professor Plume.
Professor Plum Mittler Daguerre
Daguerre.
in the Conservatoire.
Oh, ça n'est pas de you.
Hey, I'm not the murderer.
Okay.
Why is this so French?
I don't know.
Really French.
6.
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh.
No space counting.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh, that's
5,
nice.
6. Ah, j'accuse.
Good.
Madame Blanc. Avec les pipes.
Les pipes.
Dans la room de billard.
It was not Madame Blanc.
Oh, n'est pas Madame Blanc. Ok. Fini.
No, nowhere near. It's just more clogged than
Okay.
Finny. Oh no, wait! I'll just secret passage it to the splounge.
Okay.
I'm going to bring my dagger with me.
All right.
Even though I wasn't a murderer, I bring a dagger. Madame Rouge in le splounge mit la dagger.
N'est pas de splounge.
N'est pas de splounge. Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Okay. All good. Plan down dining room. Over to you, good sir.
Merci.
Oh, so
Deux.
chunks of brownie. Right?
Deux.
Deux. Oh,
Deux.
Mrs. White needs to go back to get in the kitchen, Mrs. White.
Oh, this is so regressive.
She's the cook.
Oh, then okay.
Dos. Wait, this is taking a turn for the worse.
Yes, it has.
Put me 2 spaces towards the dining room.
Okay. Those. I dropped a raisin in my shake. There it is.
4. Put me in the dining room. Wait.
What?
Jack Hughes. You. No, I've already eliminated you, haven't I?
Non.
Now you in the dining room mit le beep.
N'est pas de me.
N'est pas de you?
Ouais.
N'est pas de you. Bon. Can we hear some?
One up from there.
There?
There, yeah.
Okay. And then pipe can go to Buzz Splash.
Peep. Bon, let's blanche.
Oh dear. Conservatoire.
J'accuse
J'accuse.
Mademoiselle Rouge.
Mademoiselle Rouge. Je be Mademoiselle. Ah ouais, c'est bon.
Avec le
D'accord.
les pipes
Les pipes
dans le conservatoire.
dans le conservatoire. It was not le conservatoire.
Oh, zut alors.
I like the way we're clearly sort of narrowing this down, aren't we?
Yeah. Le weapon est la personne.
Yeah, potentially.
Naro.
Ooh.
C'est
Okay.
d'accord.
Yeah, okay. Where am I?
Uh,
Yeah, dining room.
Dining room.
Okay, what have I got rooms wise? Okay. Four. I've gotta go. I suppose I can return to this lounge, can I?
There's no passage. Oh, you can, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then I could secret.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
Oh,
you can, yeah.
I was going to make a slow way back because I've done another rooms over this side.
Right.
Lounge, J'accuse. Madame Rouge.
Dans la planche.
Peep.
Vite la pipe. N'est pas de planche.
What have we got? That's fine. Carrying on.
Okay.
Speed round.
Speed around.
Right.
Go on.
I'm assuming we're both kind of just to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So from now on.
Okay.
Okay. We've narrowed that.
I just wanted to get over here so
Hello.
we get close to something else. So.
Oh.
Roll.
You don't want to J'accuse?
No.
Madame thing? Peep?
No. We already know it's not. It's not Les Blanche.
Oh, I don't need to roll, do I? Because I wanted to get over here.
That's just me.
It's the sugar. J'accuse! No, don't worry about it.
Okay. Speed scramble. Not scramble.
Speed. Hey. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Still going?
Still going. Totally
Yeah.
still going.
Still
Yeah,
going.
very much so.
I'm on the pathway to going.
It's very interesting. Excellent. Oh my god, that's so fucking. Beep.
Beep. Ah. Beep.
Speed round.
Spin around.
Beep.
Ah. Oh, beep. Beep. Oh, sank.
Dun. J'accuse!
N'est pas de billardroom.
Oh, n'est pas de billard room.
J'accuse.
J'accuse! N'est pas de hall.
Oh, n'est pas de... Merde.
I love this. I'm really enjoying
This is really fun.
Speed Cluedo.
Go.
Go. Beep. Dos. Beep.
Passages now? No. Okay, where am I trying to get to? Oh, it's there.
Oh, shit. Library. J'accuse. Bleu.
N'est pas de l'abri.
Oh, n'est pas de library.
N'est pas de bibliothèque.
Oh non, n'est pas de bibliothèque.
J'accuse.
J'accuse. N'est pas de dining room.
Ah, merde. Ah, merde. Ok.
Oh. Boom. Sorry, I couldn't count.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Ouais. This is really weird. This becomes so French. Ah, 5. Okay.
They said snake eyes. Oh, 5. Snake eyes.
Snake eyes.
Sorry.
Beep. Oh. J'accuse? Non.
Okay.
N'est pas de room de food.
Kitchen is like a room to food.
Room de food.
Okay.
My mother's listening. She's yelling the correct words at us.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
N'est pas de Bohun.
Oh, holy shit! I should have gone left.
Oh, j'accuse.
J'accuse total.
Ouais.
Oh, j'accuse total.
J'accuse total.
Shall I get the cards?
Ouais.
Actually do it.
Ouais.
So, just to announce.
Mademoiselle Scarlet
Yeah.
dans la studie
Yeah.
mit la pipe.
The peep in the study.
Ouais.
Miss Scarlet, lead pipe, study.
Correct.
Scarlet, lead pipe, study.
Woo! It works.
First great annual speed Cluedo.
And you can
Take
play
that.
Cluedo with two people.
Take that, Parker.
Yeah, take that, Parker Brothers.
Yeah. Hasbro, division of Hasbro. I suppose everything's division.
Yeah, part of GM.
Yeah.
Heathrow Terminal 3, heading to New York. Time is now 6:02, so it's taken a while to get here. Though we were pretty early for the Heathrow Express. Stupid. So they've got markings on the floor that tell you where to go in Paddington, but the arrows for the Heathrow Express are kind of stylized as such that they are easily misread, let's say. So we ended up at the wrong place first, but didn't miss our train, thankfully. In fact, the Heathrow Express very smooth. Liked it a lot. But yeah, just got through security and about to go and get some breakfast. Still not feeling super tired, despite the early hour. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll check in when I'm boarding.
Just as an interlude here, I would like to welcome a guest to the show. It is Marco from the Cock and Crock podcast, addressing comments made by his fellow podcaster, Sam, who once described our show here as undigestible. I know we're often long in terms of our episodes, but what do you think Sam should do about his comments, Marco?
Fuck off.
Calm down now. We all like Sam. It's, anything to add?
Fuck off.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us today, Marco. Well, that was Marco, and you can listen to Cock and Crock Beer Ignorance, available from all good podcasters right now, and I recommend it. Their episodes are short and digestible, and they discuss about 3 beers a week. And I'm a fan, so maybe you should be too, even if Marco is a bit of the foul language.
This is going to be a full plane.
I would just like to say that in the future we will be presenting some new episode formats and some shorter episodes. Probably not as much of a shambles as this one, but we have some interesting things in the works. We have some first halves episodes, which I won't explain, but you'll know when they happen. And we have some shorter, more digestible episodes just for Sam, which are basically going to be either leftover bits of rambles that me and Jared have done, or new, just topic-led things, much like we did when the James Gunn episode happened last year.
Will the cabin crew please now place all doors to armed and cross-check?
On board and ready to take off. Bye, England.
Sadly, one of the other reasons we were away so long was that a very dear friend of mine, Ed, died. And if you know me, you probably knew that already. But yeah, the devastating loss of a friend of over 20 years was something that really knocked me for quite a while. And we finally had the funeral in January, and so that was another of the reasons we were away. In a way, I just didn't have time, to be honest, to devote for this, all mental space. But the one thing I do have, and randomly, I suppose, is that while I had to speak at the funeral, and so I couldn't really be listening to the first half of the funeral until I spoke, because it was just going to upset me. So I put my phone down and set it recording so I could listen to it later. But the upshot of that was that I also managed to record the eulogy I gave, and as much for me or anything else, I would like to put that in this podcast, just so it exists, so it's out there. So you skip a couple of minutes if you don't want to hear this, folks. The recording's not great, I admit, but I kind of wanted to include it. So this is the this is what I wrote for Ed's funeral.
In life, there are many different kinds of friend. There's that friend you can spend hours with, putting the world to rights on the phone or in person. Friends who are like family, who will always have your back, but you may not speak to every day, but are always there if you need them. And then there are friends who you really love, but after spending a little time with, somehow have the ability to drive you crazy. Somehow Ed was that special once-in-a-lifetime true friend who was all of these at once and so much more. As mentioned, we've known him by many easygoing names. He was Edward, Ed, EFH, Eddie, or indeed Eddie Baby. But he also earned more official titles like the Master of Disaster or Ed Smash, and I really should tell you what he's under in my phone. Despite all of these various names, he would always greet you in the same way. Always a hearty hello, followed by one of two names, Sir, or more often, Chief, which is a shorthand most of us adopted from him, continue to use regularly, and have spread to others up and down the country. I will remember him as a man who could go to an all-you-can-eat buffet and still sneak in a crappy burger on the way home. A man who saw a thin line between a friendly hug and a debilitating headlock. Someone who could go from holding a full bottle of vodka to being surrounded by broken glass in the time it took you to turn your back to buy a mixer. Someone who devoured 35 pounds worth of naval combat and aviation magazines a month, and would still joke that his father had been far too interested in trains. But I will miss him confusing people in restaurants the world over by being overly polite and always saying, hello, please may I have, while ordering. Or constantly asking us if we agreed everything from Mars bars to toilet rolls had gotten smaller. Or telling us that our beers were far too hobby nowadays. But most recently, I'll miss him telling us never to get too close to the bottom of his cane, as if it had witnessed some unspeakably horrific incident, but never telling us why. And I'll miss him falling asleep whilst literally playing video games. And I'll miss driving a 70-plus mile round trip just to take him to some film that never really justified the effort. But ultimately, I'm sad I'll never get to talk to him again. About nothing. For hours. Often to then only reference the outcome of that discussion if the topic ever came up again, as if it was some dumb law. It was that matter of factness you could always rely on with Eddie. He'd ground the situation either in fact, sincerity, or ridiculously. Once when I was irrationally aggrieved about not even being asked to be a best man at forgotten childhood best friends wedding, he simply said, well, I always thought you'd be mine. Sadly, this is the closest I'll ever come. Goodbye, Chief. We'll miss you.
Okay, I hope you're all okay with me including that.
So here I am, New York City, specifically John F. Kennedy International Airport, Terminal 4. Been here for a couple of hours now. I did a stopwatch thing with my flight where I figured out exactly from wheels up to wheels down, like started it on wheels up and then stopped it on wheels down. It was 7 hours, 13 minutes and 31 seconds, which was kind of interesting to me, because I'm kind of a nerd. But yeah, here I am, New York City, very long layover here, 8 hours. So just been kind of taking it easy, relaxing, soaking everything in. Just had Shake Shack, which was really good. They do this thing where they deep fry, like breaded deep fried mushroom with cheese in it. Not something Mr. Adams would like, but I liked it. So yeah, onward from here will be New York to Salt Lake City at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, it's going to be a long day because I think it's, what's the time now in London? The time now in London is 8 p.m. and we set out from the hotel at 4:30 a.m. So yeah, been a long day. I'm anticipating getting tired in a couple of hours, so apologies if I sound a little less chipper on the next few.
Just to finish off, I would like to hopefully cheer it up a little bit. So I'm going to personally read you all a bedtime story. this was a random recording I got last year when I was recording my nephew a story. So go to bed after this one, folks. See you next week.
Just boarded the Salt Lake City flight, and I'm done traveling. Not done traveling with another 5 hours, but yeah, I don't want to be on planes anymore. I'm gonna try and sleep.
Let's do this one. Thomas the Runaway by Christopher Audrey, with illustrations by Clive Spon. Thomas, Percy, and the Coal. Thomas the Tank Engine's blue paint sparkled in the sunshine as he puffed happily along his branch line with Annie and Clarabelle. Blue is the only proper colour for an engine, he boasted to the other engines. Oh, I don't know. I quite like my brown paint, said Toby. I've always been green. I wouldn't want to be any other colour, added Percy. Blue is the only colour for a really useful engine. Everyone knows that, spluttered Thomas. Percy said no more. He just grinned at Toby and winked. Every day, Percy brings a truck full of coal from the junction for the coal merchant Farquhar. Next morning, Thomas was resting when Percy arrived. Be careful in this siding, Percy, warned Thomas, as Percy pushed the trucks along the line beside him. These buffers aren't very safe. He got no further. As one of the coal trucks passed Thomas, the catch on its door burst open. With a rumble and a crash, an avalanche of coal poured out and piled up around Thomas's wheels. A thick cloud of coal dust arose all around him. Achoo! Thomas spluttered. Help! I'm choking! Get me out! Percy looked worried. Then, as the dust settled, he looked at Thomas and began to laugh. Thomas's smart blue paint was black, from smokebox to bunker. Ha ha ha! Chuckled Percy. You don't look really useful now. You should see yourself. You look really disgraceful. I am not disgraceful, choked Thomas seriously. You did that on purpose, Percy. Now stop your stupid giggling and get me out. But it was some time before Percy could help. The coal bunker stood behind the buffers, which Thomas had said were unsafe. It was only when the coal was shoveled into the bunker that Thomas could be moved. Poor Thomas was filthy. You're not fit to be seen, grumbled the cleaners. It took so long to clean Thomas that he wasn't ready in time for his next train, and Toby had to take Annie and Clarabelle with Henrietta. The cleaners were tired and dirty when they had finished. Thomas was grumpy in the shed that night. Thomas thought it was a great joke. Thomas was grumpy in the shed that night. Toby thought it was a great joke, but Percy was annoyed with Thomas for thinking that he had made his paint black on purpose. Who'd have thought it, Percy remarked. Fancy a really useful blue engine like Thomas becoming a disgrace to the Fat Controller's Railway. You wait, Percy, replied Thomas crossly. One day you'll laugh on the other side of your smokebox. Pooh, rejoiced Percy. I wouldn't have missed all that fun for anything. The feud worsened as time went on. Thomas thought Percy had coal dusted him deliberately, and Percy was cross with Thomas for thinking so. 2 days later, Thomas was at the platform when Percy brought his trucks from the junction. Percy arranged them and ran into a siding for a drink before Thomas left. The water column stood at the end of the siding with the faulty buffers. As Percy tried to stop, he heard a cracking sound, and to his horror, found out that he couldn't. The buffers didn't stop him either. Ooh, wailed Percy, help! The buffers broke, and Percy ran into the coal bunker with a thud. Coal flew everywhere, and when the dust had settled, Percy had disappeared beneath a thick, black cloak. Thomas watched from the platform. As the crash died away, the signal arm dropped, and Thomas moved off, laughing as he went. Percy was furious, and he spent the rest of the day wondering how he could pay Thomas out. The Runaway. Percy was soon mended, but one morning Thomas woke feeling ill. The Fat Controller sent him to the big station to see if they could make him better.
Doc and Edward.
Yeah,
And Percy.
Duck and Edward and Thomas.
And Percy.
Where's Percy?
He's don't know.
Oh, okay.
He's not there.
Yeah, okay.
He's don't know.
Okay.
He's
So this is Edward.
no.
Edward must take you to the works, the Fat Controller told him. Then he went to see Duck, the Great Western Engine.
Duck is a Western engine.
Yeah, he's that one. I told you to go and help Percy and Toby. While Thomas is ill, he said. Donald and Douglas will do your work until Thomas returns. Duck was delighted. He knew Percy already, and it wasn't long before he made friends with Toby, Terence and Bertie. Percy, who was still cross with Thomas, was glad to have someone new to talk to. Even Annie and Clarabelle were impressed. Such nice manners, they told each other. It really is a pleasure to go out with him. Soon they made Duck welcome, and he laughed when they told him Thomas had once left their guard behind at the junction. When Thomas came back, Annie and Clarabelle told him how well Duck had managed. Though Thomas was jealous at first, he was so pleased to be home that he soon forgot. But he didn't forget the affair with the coal. Percy was careful to keep out of his way. The works had left Thomas's handbrake very stiff. It made his brakes seem as if they were on when in fact they weren't. And Thomas's driver and fireman soon learnt to be extra careful. One day Thomas's fireman was ill, and a relief man took his place. At the junction, Thomas ran round Annie and Clarabelle. While his driver chatted to the station master on the platform, the fireman fastened the coupling. The driver was told about Thomas's brake, but unluckily he had forgotten. When he had finished with the coupling, he joined the driver and station master on the platform. Thomas simmered happily. In the distance, Henry appeared. Not long now, thought Thomas.
Henry's not in this one.
Well, Henry's in the distance, so we'll probably see him in a minute. At that moment, Thomas felt his wheels began to move. He tried to stop, but he couldn't without his driver and fireman. He tried to whistle a warning, but he couldn't do that either. The guard shouted from the platform, but that did no good. The guard, driver and the fireman were all stranded, and the passengers were left on the platform, staring. Thomas, Annie and Clarabelle gathered speed out of the station. The empty coaches shrieked as they rounded the corner, but Thomas, with plenty of steam, kept on going. The signalman at the junction soon realised what had happened, and sent a message along the line. An inspector prepared to stop the runaway at the station near the airfield, where Harold the helicopter stood ready in case of emergency. But Thomas was still going much too fast. Quickly the inspector climbed aboard Harold, and they took off. "I must get there in time, I must," he whirred anxiously. Below, Thomas was tiring. I need to stop, he panted wearily. Annie and Clarabelle held back as they went uphill. As they neared the station, Thomas saw Harold land and the inspector run towards the platform. This time, Thomas entered the station slowly enough for the inspector to act. Running beside the train, he judged his moment.
It ends.
It's almost the end, yeah. But it's going to end it well, isn't it? This time, Thomas entered the station slowly enough for the inspector to act. Running beside the train, he judged his moment. Jumped and scrambled into Thomas's cab. Then he put the brake on hard. With a sigh of relief, Thomas stopped. The inspector mopped his brow. "Phew," he remarked. Wearily, Thomas agreed with him. The end.
The end.
And finally, about 27 hours later, home. I'm going to bed. Thanks for joining me on my journey, folks. It was really long. We'll see you next time.